Hey everybody, welcome to Fishing Planet. My name is Lady. In the past I've done videos about what to do, how to level up as fast as possible and grind as much money as possible when you start the game. Today I'm continuing excuse me, those series of videos. One of the first vids was how to level up in Lone Star Lake, Texas, and I told you guys there to go off the spotted bass until you reach level 10. Then at level 10, go to Emerald Lake, go off to walleye, grind enough money, and then once you reach level 18, it is time to move on to Everglades. However, I noticed that some of the gear that we need in Everglades only unlocks at level 19, and we do need that kind of gear. So my advice is to grind one more level of walleye, get yourself some extra money in New York, and at level 19 then move on to Everglades in Florida, because that is one money grabbing hole, one waterway that you can make I think the most money out of every lake that there is out there, with the exception of Michigan and maybe Alaska. But Everglades in Florida is definitely going to help you, and from now on things will get easier for you in terms of grinding money. So before we are heading to Everglades, we of course do need all the stuff. So here we go. I've got everything empty. Of course I already got some stuff in my home storage, but just for the sake of the movie, we are going to purchase everything again. First off, let's go to tools and equipment. And here we are. So, like I said, level 18 gives you a fish cabin S, and that is already pretty good for Florida, purchasing this one. In Florida, we will do bass fishing, largemouth bass and butterfly peacock bass. However, a unique largemouth weighs up to a little over 6 kilograms, so this keep net would not suffice in holding those. This one does, however. Level 20, fish cabin M. It is going to cost you 9 grand, a little over 9 grand. Make sure that you got at least the bare minimum amount before you purchase everything and set off to Florida. Make sure you got at least 60 grand minimum, because you are going to spend and we are going to spend in a minute a huge amount of money in obtaining the right gear. So this fish cabin is 9 grand, this one is 8 grand. Let's stick with this one for the time being. So we got that one, but once you reach level 20, you definitely want to have that one, as well as this wild element vest. You want to have that one as well at level 20. But since it's set, stick to level 19, and then we also of course want a handy tackle box to bring some line with us. That one is actually real money bait cord, so we're not going to do that. We are going to bring a triple case rod bag with us. There we go, and then let's see what is the next comfort camper. There you go. So when we go to inventory, you can see that we put on the vest, the level 8 vest, then we have the free rod bag, we've got a handy tackle box, and then we have level 18 keep net. Now back to the store, because now here it starts. We of course do need some stuff, some gear. And here we are. So like I said, at level 18 you unlock some stuff, but for instance, at level 18 we get the Argo 160. This is actually one of the rods that we are going to purchase. However, if we want to put the reel on it that makes it a perfectly balanced setup, that reel is unfortunately level 19. So that is the reason as to why I'm saying that wait one more level, grind one more money level and money in New York, so that you can actually afford to purchase this kind of stuff. Right, first up, like I said, we are to bring the Argo with us. Argo 160. It's a bait casting rod. That means that we do need a bait casting reel, so not the upside down 7. but the reel with the two handles on it. Here you can also see the icons, and here it indicates that it is for lure fishing and not bobber fishing. So we purchased the Argo. Now we move on to the reels, and we need a LowDex 1500S. So there goes another 7,700 euros. And of course it needs line. So let's move on to line, and let's see. Oh, that is a bit too much. Braided 0.2mm line is what I would advise you guys to put on this rod. Let's grab the level 19 and then the 500. So we got enough of that. And now let's move on to here. So let's grab the LowDex and let's put braided line on it. There we go. So the 5 centimeters, that is enough. Casting rods, despite their name, they do not cast as far as spinning rods, but this is enough. So Argo 160, LowDex MG 1500S, braid 0.2mm line, and then of course we need a bunch of lures. So let's go to lures. We can use bass jigs, you can use Jigheads with a shed, so grabs on it, and casting spoons. Now what I would like to get is a 3/0. 3/0 work great in Florida for both bass species. So let's see where we can find a 3/0 bass that is not going to cost us any bait coins. That is because here at level 10 we got already 2, but they do cost bait coins. So let's skip those and move on a bit. Here we got a Jighead 9 gram 3/0. Let's see if we can get one that is a bit higher in gram, but we do already have a bunch of grubs. So I would suggest in getting these 2 grubs. So we got a light colored then and a dark colored one. Here we go, Jighead 21 gram 3/0. Let's grab that, and that will go well with the other one. Here then we've got 3/0 bass jigs. They are unfortunately 4 gram. We need something that is heavier. So 4 gram is not going to cut it, because our setup has a lure weight between 9 and 28 grams. So that is something that you need to take into consideration. So let's get back. We already saw that. Those are all 2/0. Here we go, bass jig, 9 gram. This is a pumpkin lemon. We're going to take that one, and here this one is a green salad white. So we'll take that one as well. So that is another 1100 bucks. See that we're going down money wise. I think I was at I think we spent roughly 20k now already. And we're still not done. We only just purchased the first one. So now I also want casting spoons with the average Jighead. Now this is what I would advise you to do use your bait coins for. These 3/0, 2 3/0 casting spoons, 21 gram, they mean the world. They are extremely good, and you can get them at level 18. So by all means do purchase these, because they are great to have. Let's see, what else do we have? 4/0, no, that's bait coins only. Not a bait coin only, that is bait coins only, alright. So here we go. We now have a Jighead with grubs, and then we got 2 bass jigs that we can use on this particular setup, and then casting spoons as well. For the sake of it, I'll put a casting spoon on it. There we go. So this is our bait casting setup that we will use mainly to do the lure fishing on. And moving on to the shop once more, because now we too need a float fishing rod, because like I said, you can float fish them as well. And for that we are going to use a Nero 450. It has a line weight of 6 kilograms in total. Again, this one is not very cheap, 4,200. So let's purchase that one. Then on to reels. For this Nero 450, we would love to use the Espira MLR3000. Let's see, what are you? There you go, 7,800. So in total that is 14 grand just for the rod and for the reel. So we got that. On this one as well, we put braided line on it, 2 odd, we already got that one. So let's put you on there, and then here braided line 2 odd. There we go. And now we do need to go to terminal tackle. So let's see, we want of course the big hooks, not the barbless ones, but the big ones. 4 odd works, 5 odd works, 6 odd is what I generally use, but let's grab 4 odd with us now and 5 odd with us as well. We do need a bobber, preferably a big one, because we are going to use stuff like shiners and no, not cup bait, minnows. Let's see, any big bobbers out there? Well, unless you want to spend bait coins, like here, 3 bait coins for a bobber. Let's just use a chubby one. Chubby one is fine enough. Now let's go over here. So now we can put let's start with a 4 odd hook on it and a chubby bobber, and then of course we do need baits. So let's go to baits. Small minnows work, but I do prefer the bit bigger ones. Let's see, level 19 shiners. Yeah, let's get ourselves a bunch of shiners then. 5. Let's see. So in total we spent 40 grand in total for just this. So we got 40 grand spent for this complete outfit. So we got a casting rod that we will be using for lure fishing, and then we've got a float fishing rod that we are going to use as well. Let me immediately set it right. There we go, these two. So that is what we are going to use. You can use the extra one to bring a lighter rod with you if you want to go after some pan fishing. And later on you can also use it to set up yourself a crankbait rod. But in Florida it's just 2 rods that you would actually need, one for float fishing and one for lure fishing when we are going after bass. Now last but not least, do not forget to get your license. So it's Florida. Advanced license is 4 grand per day. Do not go for a basic license, because we need to release like nearly everything. We want to go after bass, so you need the advanced license. 1 day is going to cost you 4 grand. If you do have a lot of bait coins, get yourself the unlimited license for 180. I already got the unlimited license, so no worries there. And then finally we are clicking on it. Here you can see the amount per day staying is £1 grand. Now no worries, we will fill up that fast enough, but the transfer, so the traveling costs to Florida to the Everglades are 7 grand. So that is what I said, bring a minimum of 60 grand with you before you go on a spending spree like I just did, with just the basics, and then before you go to Florida, because you need the money. You do not want to go to Florida with only 10 grand with you now, because that will mean that if you forget something and have to go back, you cannot longer return to Florida. Make sure that at all times you always got your travel costs covered, and that you know that you can go home and go back again to said lake that you want to fish at. Otherwise you're stuck back again in Emerald Lake or Lone Star Lake or whatever lake in between that you were fishing. So make sure you got enough money. And well, on to Everglades we go. So I'll just show you guys a couple of spots now where I love to fish bass. Bass in general, they are very active in the morning and they are very active in the late afternoon and then evenings. That is just typical bass. So we've got 4 packs. This is Salty Delta. This is the pack where you can get tarpon, red drum, common snook. Not a whole lot of bass though. Here is a spot, Infinity Tunnels, sorry, where you can get both peacock and largemouth. Here is a spot floating thickets where you can get both, but it's mainly peacock that you can get here. And then here we got a spot lily pad channel where you can get both excuse me, both largemouth as well as peacock bass. First off, I'm going to show you my float fishing spot, and for that it was the Nero 450 that we needed. So let's get over here. Here we are. Let's bring our Nero rod with us. Here we go. Just a quick look. 50 centimeters is what I fish the bass at here. No need to go any deeper because we will be fishing very close to the shore. So the bottom is not very, the water is not very deep. 50 centimeters is all you need, so that roughly is 22 inches. And once more, I'll show you guys a 2-aught braided line, Espira MLR3000, Nero 450. We got a chubby bobber on it, a hook 4-aught with shiners. So that is all you need. And what you need to do now is, well, you can already see some activity over there. And over here you can fish for butterfly bass, as well as here, by the way. That's a great spot. But over here you can now see that here it's marked out a bit. These are actually lily pads, and that is where you need to cast towards. Cast as far as possible. So with this setup it will be roughly 50-ish, 55 meters out. That is roughly 160, 165 feet. Give it some line until your bobber stands out like that. Now we're actually going to up the drag a little bit. If you do not get a nibble in say a minute or two, then reel into 50 meters. Right now where the bobber is, we are actually behind the lily pads. When you reel into 50 meters, bobber be in front of the lily pads. So this is where I float fish largemouth bass the most. And currently not seeing anything happening, so we're reeling in. And now we get stuck a bit. No worries though, this setup can handle. There we go. My bobber is a bit crooked, so I'll give a bit line. There you go. And now we wait again. Between 55 meters and say 35 meters is where you get largemouth bass. From time to time, here we go. From time to time, we'll also get the occasional peacock, but also very seldom, but it can happen, is that you can get a common snook. Here we go. We can actually put our drag. Oh, I broke it there. Okay, so you can put your drag not all the way. There we go. We put it back on again. But you can set it, what is it, 10 out of 12. And that is actually what we need. Did I adjust it, by the way? Because I thought I could set it to max. But alright. We'll just do it again. There we go. So, just to be safe, set it 9 out of 12. So this is not the most optimized setup. But here we go. We already got a fish on. And now we can start reeling it in. So they will fight from time to time. I'm going to up the drag just by one. Over here. From time to time, these largemouth bass can also make a run towards you. Make sure that you do remain that tension on the line, or they will jump off and you will lose them. And the moment that your rod starts going all boogie woogie on you, that will be the sign that you hooked either a trophy or a unique one. So currently it is not doing that. This fish is pulling. He's pulling a bit, but he's not putting a whole lot of tension on my line. So here we go. Let's reel this baby in. And they will keep on fighting, even the last couple of meters. They will keep on fighting. Here we go, largemouth bass. We need to wait a bit for the animation. Currently there is a delay in it. But we actually did hook a trophy. 2.7 kilograms. Now, like I said, the unique ones, they go a little over 6 kilograms. So 2.7, that is good. And total amount of money currently is 633. So we are going to keep that fish. So that's it for largemouth bass. That spot over there, that works all the time for me. Here you got some activity, as you guys can see. There was some jumping up in the water. There's bass as well. And then here, this is a spot where I love to go after peacock bass. Now, peacocks, they are a bit smaller than largemouth bass, but here too, in this version, or in this waterway in Florida, you can find yourself a unique one. You can fish here, you can fish a bit behind there, you can always see some activity there. Then over here, just along all the reeds, those are all great places for bass to go after. And here we go, we got a fish on. Ooh, he was giving a bit of a fight. But I must say here, Infinity Tunnels, this is where I love to float fish. A lot of good fish that you can get, and here we got ourselves a butterfly peacock bass, and as you can see, this one is not paying as much as largemouth, but then again, this one is smaller and we did have a trophy. This one pays 345 bucks, 1.5 kilograms, so we are going to keep that as well. So that is it for Infinity Tunnels. Let's move on to floating thickets. Here we go. So this is floating thickets. And here again, there are some great spots for peacock bass. First spot for the trophy and unique is actually here. Let me get a bit. So we got a bit of a gap in between the lily pads over here. So this is where you would like to fish for them. If you just do like this. Here we go. So not so far out, only like 11-12 meters. That is fine. So that will be roughly 20-25 feet out. You can even set your bobber to 30 centimeters or 10 inches. That would be fine as well for fishing them here. Now, not every spot is active all the time. I actually found that these spots no longer work as good as the previous one that I used, but you can fish them over here very good whenever it is active. And then as we turn around, here we got some more lovely lily pads and whatnot, and you can also cast out there. And this is also a perfect spot to do some lure fishing. So let's switch over to our Argo. Here we go. We have a casting spoon 3/0 on it. So what you want to do is, for instance here, is you want to cast a bit in the center of the lake. We used to cast a bit closer, but now this water is so extremely shallow that you actually need to cast a bit more into the middle of the river. And what you do then is you just tilt your rod a bit to the left so that your line will make this parallel line with the reeds and the lily pads. There you can already see that the lure is going up very high in the water. For lure fishing, it is mostly between 20 meters and say 5 that you start hooking the bass. Now, I do know that currently it's the 18th of April. The indicator is off. Indicator is broken. They are about to fix it, as I've been told. But just do stop and go like so. And here we go. We got a fish on. I just need to make sure I can. Yeah, this one you can actually set 7 out of 8. So this setup is balanced, and here we go. We got a peacock. Already noticed you. There you are, buddy. A nice looking butterfly peacock bass. A 393, 1.7 kilograms. So we are going to keep that. You can do the same on this side. Make sure that your line is actually a bit parallel along the line of the reeds and weeds. So yeah, let's just do one quick retrieval. Do not set your speed too high here. You can also just do a straight retrieval. Currently it says straight slow. Tries to make up its mind. Here we go, straight. The downside is that with a straight retrieval, particularly with casting spoons, they will get towards the surface very fast. Oh, we already could see something was interested in it, so I adjusted speed, trying to lure it. No, it's not. But oh well. So this is where you can too use a stop and go, lift and drop, straight retrieval. Oh, those types work. Make sure you do not set your speed too high. Keep it on 2, 3 maximum if your line retrieval is not very high. But with this setup, I would go with retrieval of reel in speed of 2. As the game currently is, I must point that out. Sometimes mechanics change in game, physics change in game, so you do need to adapt a bit. But the moment that you notice that your spoon or jig goes way up towards the surface very fast, just kick it down a notch, the retrieval speed, and that will do. Now, for those of you wondering, just on a side note, where to find the Florida gar, over here in this spot, large cut bait, 30 centimeters or 10 inches. Same here, large cut bait, 30 centimeters, 10 inches. And then over here, where the tree is, right there in front of the lily pads, and you can even cast in between the lily pads. There are some small gaps in between. Large cut bait. Do not use a too big of a hook. 3/0, 2/0 already works. These gar, they're not as big as folks believe. They're not. They get like between 5 and 8 kilograms. It's not like the alligator gar that can reach 40 kilograms or 80 pounds or 90 pounds. These fish is like 16 pounds, maybe 20 pounds tops. So do not worry about that. Also, from time to time, you might hook a bowfin when you're using a casting spoon, by the way. They're mostly over there. So, if you do get a large pool, that means bowfin. And then, like I said earlier, the common snook from time to time. Last off, Lily Pet channel, and this is also a great place. Here we can do both float fishing as well as lure fishing. First off, float fishing. The place where everybody fishes them is here. You got this upside down turned boat, and then just cast over there a little bit behind it. Again, leave it set to 50 centimeters. You can also set to 30 centimeters, doesn't matter. So between 30 meters out and then say 20 meters out, that is a great spot for lure fishing bass. Here it's got both butterfly, peacock as well as largemouth. And when we want to do some lure fishing, I said lure fishing earlier, I meant flow fishing, sorry. But when we do want to do some lure fishing, you can cast over here, over that. And here we go. Oh, we had a fish on, but I was too late in pulling the strike. That's alright. Let's reel this in. For lure fishing, cast over there and then reel it in all the way here. Do not worry about the weeds and whatnot. Your line is and your setup is very capable of handling it. Now over here, you too can catch some Florida gar. They are over here, just on the outskirts of where the lily pads meet the reeds, by the way. But this is also a great spot for bass. And then over here, let's bring out the lure once more. And now let's do jigheads. So final time. Actually, let's use bass jig. Jighead just works the same as casting spoon. Let's see. So you go back in there. It was a bit of a cloudy day, so overcasted day it means. So what you do, cast along either side of this and make sure that you retrieve your line just alongside. You can go right in between it. Like I said, this setup is sturdy enough to handle snacks in here. So we'll wait and we'll start reeling in. Let's set the speed just a little bit. There we go. Now it's more steady into the water. You can give it the occasional twitch. Oh, I do need to set speed on 3. Now we'll set speed on 2. There we go, fish on. Last minute. But still awesome looking largemouth bass. 1.3 kilograms. Not as big, but still very good. So all in all, this is like bass country for bass fishing. Bass likes to hang out near lily pads, near weeds, and Florida has an abundance of it. You can also go over there. This particular setup, the Argo, means you can't cast out as far, but you can always switch to float fishing, and then you can actually make a cast further along the line, and then you can do some float fishing over there. So all in all, pretty good. Let's see, fish that we've caught so far were just 4 fish, and we made $1,668, and we've not even come halfway to filling our net. If you do it this way, you can make a total of 8-9 grand per day, and then at level 20, when you get the bigger keep net, you can start making money like 10 grand, 12 grand a day. So this is a true paradise for leveling up and for grinding a heck of a lot of money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got any questions, feel free to post them below. I will answer them. And as always, do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time again. Bye bye.